Before you go.
What's this?
Injury stuff.
Is what? I'm looking for a little blanket jump.
It's in there.
Is it me?
You gotta look the bag up. Hey, y'all. Oh, let me put this question in there while we waiting. I don't know if I need to go out and go back in or what. Maybe I'll do that. Oh.
Get in there.
Welcome, someone. Hey, girlfriend.
You start tagging people.
How about get on first? I'm just waiting for Jamal to come on. If everybody can share this live, please. The little airplane at the bottom. You guys can share it. Send it out. I'm waiting for Jamal to get on now. He get ready to get on. But we start now. We start at 8. Just waiting for him to get on here. Walaikum salam. So if anybody's new on here, if you have missed any of the previous lives that we done, you can go to our YouTube channel, the Davises and Friends. The link is in my bio. You click the link and it'll take you right to all the old lives. What up, Scott? Hey, Anthony. I was just waiting for Jamal, y'all. Oh, there we go. Finally. Hey. Yeah.
What's up? What's good? What's good? What's going on, everybody? Ian, what up, Ian? Something special 215. All right, y'all. Today we got the topic of discussion, and when I tell you this topic of discussion, it always ends up ruffling feathers or getting people's attention. What's up, Ish? What's going on? Yo, E, what up? What up? What up? See, Big, y'all hop on in this thing, man. My guy, yo, Scott. Sis, hey, sis, April 1st. I'm Kyle Bullock. What's going on, good brother? Salute to all my barbers out there, all my barber brothers out there. Lena, honey, what up, sis? Yeah, it's this is it. This topic is really a scorcher. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to chime in, wants to have or has an opinion about polyamory or polygamy. You know what I mean? Having a relationship that involves having more than one partner and everybody's on the same page. So for some people, you know what I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, you have your opinion. I know a lot of times most black women, they like, I just want mine to myself. I'm selfish, da da da. I get it. But, you know what I mean, for some black relationships, for some black families, it works out for them. So this evening, we wanted to discuss a little bit about it, get some of your opinions, and pretty much together, you know what I mean, learn a little bit
Hey,
something tonight or hear some, you know what I mean, hear something that we ain't heard before. You know what I mean? You never know
hey,
what's going on.
sis.
You know what I mean? So uh he said, I need to tag my brother. He lives a polygamous lifestyle. You tag him on them,
Yeah,
have him come on
tell them
them,
to tap in.
because yeah, we definitely want to, you know, have some insight from people that have been involved or at least have some sort of knowledge base from it. You know what I mean? First hand, second hand, whatever the case may be. Um, but without further ado, let's get into it. So, Cherie, we going into the topic of polygamy, polyamory, and you know what I mean. Traditionally, you know, they have different purposes for polygamy. So, in certain countries, and even for us in our culture, originally we did practice forms of polyamory or polygamy. So on the eastern side of things, like you can't get is very few black women that's really, you know what I mean, feeling that whole topic of having multiple wives. But we are coming into Ramadan, the Muslim um uh our Muslim holiday, which in Islam, polygamy or having multiple wives is permissible. So we want to have this dialogue, this discussion. I did have a brother on here, my dear brother, that wanted to chime in just about his perspective on polyamory. So I'm gonna have him chime in, you know what I mean, and then we can kind of go from there. Cherie, you can chime in anytime, whenever you're ready, and then we kind of go from there. So let me see where my dear brother is, and we're gonna get rolling. Just want to get some insight, man. Why everybody's so nervous? What's to be nervous about? You know what I mean? Let's be nervous about. All right.
Jamal's phone's messing up. Never fails. Oh wait, I think he coming back on. Oh no, wait, it should have popped him back on. No, it's called his phone. Cause I'm good. Y'all can see me. Y'all can hear me. Okay.
What am I reflecting here?
Can you hear? Can you should be good now. I can hear you. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
You
okay.
just.
No, it's on like a frozen screen or something like that. Oh, all right, there we go. There we go. My phone. All right, so
It's just you.
getting back to the, all right, my bad. All right, you can count on more. shit the clock out every live. listen, listen. Every time we get a discussion that get, you know what I mean, hectic, my phone started acting up. So listen, just blame the phone. All right, don't go messing up stuff more. See, here we go. Now y'all coming at me. I ain't even do nothing this time. All right, so the big question is, and I just want to see some comments first, just so we can get it kind of warmed up. So the big question is there anybody in the comments that that is down with or thinks that polygamy would be something that they would be interested in? Let's start there. Is that something that, you know what I mean, that people are interested in? You know what I mean, that you would give it a try? Fellas, is polygamy something you ever thought about? Women, is it something you ever thought about? I have women that said, listen, man, you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind sharing a husband. Hell no. Oh my goodness. Here we go. A simple no would have done just fine. You know what I mean? Big Tay
Oh, Big
215.
Tay said yes.
Big Tay
He
said
ain't done.
yes. You know what I mean? So it's not everybody. My good brother Keith said yes, sir, for sure. Okay, so official. So what's some of the
Miss Bradshaw said she said no for her, but she see why people do it.
All right, so let's go with that then. So what's some of the reasons that polyamory would interest any of y'all? I saw somebody said money,
I tried twice.
combining money and things of that nature, which finances, that definitely makes sense when you think about it like that. Mrs. D. Haney said, I tried twice. Okay. All right. So what some of the things that had
Tell
you?
them to tap in, Ish.
Yeah, y'all
He had to
tap in.
request me.
Yeah,
If anybody
yeah,
that want to
each.
request, you have to send the request to me so that you can join the live. If anybody want to share any thoughts on the conversation.
Big Tay said convenience. Okay. All right. So what would make that convenient is a polygamous relationship. Somebody said when you need time off from being a wife. That's not, listen, overflow of love. Wow. Y'all really bringing it. Y'all was ready for the day. Help with the kids. That's a fact. Help with home. You might have somebody that might not have, let's just say, a job that they have to leave home or whatever, but they might be perfect at home. They might be perfect with cleaning and tending to the household or whatever. And it might be the two other partners that get out there and get at a bag. You know what I mean? So that's a good point too. So I see in here like with economics. So official, you tagged them. With economics, it makes sense if you think about it. If you have 3 people in one household instead of 2 people, first of all, 2 people in one household is going to make your just your everyday living an easier expense. So let's just say your rent is $900. I'm just going low just so we can stick with some numbers. With 2 people, if you are dividing that, now your rent is $450. But let's just say you had 3 people that were taking on, you know what I mean, financial responsibilities of a household. Now that's only $300, you know what I mean, to maintain or to pay rent at a home. So when you think about financially, you know what I'm saying, having an additional partner that can contribute to the household, you know what I mean, it actually makes sense. You said 900 more. I know. That was probably like, you know what I'm saying, in the 90s. But I'm just saying, I just wanted to give a round number that would divide 3 equally, my brother. Okay? 300 times, you know what I mean? I didn't want to get into the 1200s. This is too much math for me. But anyway, so that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, one of the things that makes sense. Now, this is what I want y'all to do. If y'all have any questions that y'all want us to pose, because yo, Sal was good. Congratulations, man. I see you rolling with the shots. If y'all have any questions that y'all want to pose, I want you guys to put them in there, because just hit me up, Sal. If you got anybody that you any question that you have, I want you to put it inside the question box. You had a question box up there, Sheree? Because I want to invite on one of our first guests so he can go into a little bit more of an understanding of polygamy from his
They had
perspective.
to request me.
Or no, I'm talking about for just for the questions. You know,
Yeah,
I like to
both.
ask a question. All right, so I wanna bring on our first guest that's just gonna give us a little insight from his perspective of polyamory, just so we can just have some more insight on it. So Yusuf, if you can, you're gonna have to request you can go. You should be able to do it on your live and request to hop in, and then Cherie's going to accept it. Okay, the question bubble is at the bottom. If y'all have any of the questions, then hit the question bubble, because that way we could just, instead of having to read on the feed all of them, some of the ones that y'all want us to pose to any of our guests or just put out there, put it inside the question bubble so we can go from there. All right, so we got on our live brother Yusuf.
Great
What's
evening,
going
great
on,
evening.
King?
How you doing, King? What's going on?
Peace, peace, peace. Everything is well, man. You know, we just trying to get a little dialogue, and you know, it's such a taboo topic, polyamory,
It is.
wives. I think everybody just, first off, everybody just think a threesome from the rip. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's like, you know what I mean?
Especially with this with the Western, you know, the Western culture way of thinking. Let me be clear on this standpoint. Me and you spoke earlier, right?
Got you.
Like, I'm married, right?
Right.
I am a one-woman man, right? I don't
Got
practice polygamy, right? But we had this topic come up on one of our personal development sessions with the good brother Will Latif, right?
Right.
Will Little, and it was a great discussion amongst men and women when the topic of polygamy came up, and I just gave an example from an experience that I had when I was in college. You know, I graduated from Clark Atlanta University, and I met a gentleman when I was down in the Atlanta area. He actually attended Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Younger brother, right? He was from the Middle East, and you know, all the verbiage that we were given and all the opinions that we were given, both men and women, was from this Western culture where we've grown up at, right? Now let's keep this in mind, like, you know, the traditional way of thinking, or how, you know, most think, especially over here. You know, the roles have switched. Like, you know, the women are breadwinners just like men. You know, like, we operate more like a team. And then dating is casual. You know, sex is casual. Like, it's not haram or taboo for a lot of our youngsters to, you know, lose their virginity before marriage. But I was given a perspective, right? Because we had a lot of opinions, a lot of, you know, the women were giving a lot of feedback, the men were giving a lot of feedback. And I had just gave the feedback from something that I had learned or experienced just in conversation with a friend that I had gained. And he was from the Middle East, and he was speaking to me from an Eastern standpoint, where in his background and in his family, he was expected to have more than one wife. Like, it was almost like it was a responsibility that they had placed upon him, you know, coming over here to be educated, coming from a family of wealth, and expecting to hold a certain type of stature in his family. They look at it like one wife. How dare you? Like, almost, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, almost from a responsible point of view. And I just remember speaking with this young brother who was younger than me at the time, right? Who was still a virgin, right? Still a virgin.
Okay.
Was intended, but also was intended to have more than one wife. And this was, you know, the expectation of his family. And so the whole, like, and even from his conversation, he was looking at it more or less like, not pressure in a bad way, but he was more or less looking at it from a standpoint of a little concern of, could he step up to the responsibility? Because this was expected of him. So over here, where we more or less, I think, are not as open-minded, because we think of, you know, that we think of the casual relationship or the leisure or the sex, or however we're used to thinking about it because of the way we've been raised over here. It's just different mindsets, different aspects from different cultures. And I think as you become more worldly in the topic of conversation, it's definitely a different mindset. It's definitely a different mindset. It's like the taboo of it, which is over here. Remember, like, you know, a marriage, that covenant, in a lot of ways, like, you know, you're considered wealthy from the children that you bear and from the families that you have, and how long lasting your name is based on your culture. It's not, it doesn't stop or you know, begin or end with just the I do between the two parties that are in marriage. And that just opened my mind, you know, like, because I never even thought about it from a standpoint of that. I never had that conversation. You know, any experience I've ever had was here in Philadelphia, and, you know, in Islamic culture. Like, you know, I've known brothers with you know, 1 or 2 wives or whatever like that, and even from that standpoint, it wasn't the same. It's not the
Mm.
same when you're raised in it, in opposed to, do we choose it, or does the majority of our culture look at it as something that the average person shouldn't do? And so I just raised that question when we
Mm.
had that topic, and even the women were looking at it at a different perspective, like, wow, like
Yeah.
from that standpoint, like, okay, because I think it's the mindset. I think it's what you expect in opposed to the relationship. Most people think like of someone being lustful or being greedy, and
Mm.
not from a responsibility standpoint where, if you're a man that is thinking about that, the flip side of that is, we tend to overlook the equal contribution to your wives. Like, like what you
Mm.
give one, you must give the other. How you
Right.
tend to,
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
there's, and,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's crazy because a lot of times the reference of a wife may come from the wives.
Mm.
The
So,
reference of another wife may come from the wives. Like, there's a lot of things that play into that role. Like, women who become widows that are still, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
and things of that
Gotcha.
nature. It just, the topic went on and on. But in this Western mindset, it automatically becomes taboo. Like when we throw it on the table, like you could just see the eyebrows raised of, you know what I mean? But
Right.
even over here, like if you think about it, it's like, uh, if done correctly, would it be a bad thing?
Mm.
Like for what it's intended to be,
That's a
right?
good question. Yeah.
Let's go ratio. Let's go male, available men versus
Mm.
available women. Let's go generational wealth. Let's go when we talk about how many, single moms that are out here playing the role of both.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like what is
Yeah.
really breaking down our community? Like
Mm.
what the absence of the black man in the household in a
Mm.
lot of ways, right? And then the I guess, like, the women not acting in sisterhood, but more or less acting in competition. Like,
Mm.
is that like who suffers from this more than our culture?
Yeah, that's a good point, bro. That's a great point. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that like, do you think that with our just with our Western, understanding, do you think that um, polygamy, polyamory, would be something that could benefit, what I mean, our communities? Do you think that as a black people, because for real, it's a lot of us that can't hold down one woman, you know what I mean? That can't hold down one relationship, you know what I mean? Like, what would it take for, if this is something that could possibly work for our community? Damn, like, what kind of
I'm a
people that take, you know what I mean? What type of
Before
maturity?
he
Like,
start going into what he about to say, I just want to interrupt because
mm,
I know this is a conversation between two men, and I'm on here as well. So I
mm,
want to make clear to the questions that's being on here that's being asked is, um, would there be a problem if women have two husbands? Because we hear women, 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 two women, two women,
mm.
two women. So we want to know, as women, would it be an issue if there was another husband and not another wife?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I've seen it, but it was like more so on, like, I've seen it before, on social media. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't, I'm not opposed to anything that works for agreeing adults. So if agreeing adults, you know what I mean, wanted to have another man in a relationship with this woman, then I mean, that's their business. You know what I mean? What we're talking about in terms of ratio, if we're saying that it's more women to men, and that if we were all to just lock down one woman in marriage, then we would have a large percentage of women still hanging out there that wouldn't have a man. Would it be more productive if we did partner up, you know what I mean, for a community's sake? So, like I said, I'll be whatever, whatever floats whoever's boat. But in terms of like what could, what the numbers say in terms of the ratio, like it's literally more women to men. Could that be something that we could even handle? Like I said,
mm.
it's hard to hold down one, I mean, wife. It's hard to hold down one, partnership relationship, these days. So like, what would that look like? You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and this is my an opinion from me, and I'm looking at it from a standpoint of responsibility. Once again, I think, in all honesty, when ratio, yes, but the roles that we're playing and how these sisters are holding it down. Remember, like I think the original way for this to be successful in design is when, you know, there's a main provider and then someone tending to a household. We're a lot more even on the playing field. So, like, you know, even though the numbers is different, these women are like more or less partners in breadwinning and paying bills and responsibilities and things of that nature, right? And so, to take away in a situation like that, to split the time with a husband, I think would be non-productive, because it's not the same. Like, you're already dealing with like an equal partnership on finances and things. I'm talking about in that specific realm. Now, once again, in the traditional way of things, of the man is going to be the total provider, the total protector, and the woman is just going to raise the children and something else like that. And I'm not saying that's the only way it has to be. Like, yeah, then the male role being split in a different household or one or two households or however many he can handle, I think is a little more feasible for that role. But you have to, you know,
be on top
have
of your game.
an agreement on your role. Like, right, we're not just saying like, just because I'm a man or just because a person is a man, like, okay, that deems you already eligible to be able to do this. No, it's like, where are your moral values? Where do you agree upon? Like, you know what I mean? Some women may see themselves as breadwinners. Some women may have the gift, and the man may be the person to the kid. I know my wife and I, we split a lot of the duties. Like, you know what I mean? I am the breadwinner. I do take care of the majority of the bills, but she's a career woman herself. We got 7 children, right? Like she runs the house, but my word is law. Like, you know what I mean? Like, her word is law in the house as well. You know, I tend to the kids just like she tends to the kids. It's literally an equal partnership there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think in 2022, you got more households that are designed like that. So in that case, nah, like, no, definitely. Like, you know, the responsibility, like, we split too much responsibility as it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not of the mindset that I think that would work. But we're talking about like ratio wise, or if the culture was different, or if we started to take a whole different mindset on the standard of it and go back into the traditional roles of what, you know, men are, like, you know what I mean, and things of that nature. And it's still like it's still my responsibility. Don't get me wrong. Like, we follow that role. Like, the provider, the protector, that's my responsibility. She doesn't have to do that, but she's capable of doing it. And we work like a team. Like, you know what I mean? We have a blended family, 1 child together, 7 all together, right? And it's a beautiful thing. But she's a driven woman. Like, she's an entrepreneur. She does great thing in the business that I do full time, as well as starting her own business in LLC. College educated, you know what I mean, from Temple University. Like, she's a powerhouse. Like, you know, there's equality there. You know what I mean? Like, that is my match. But for, you know, someone else, and we're just talking about the topic, you know, I was able to play devil's advocate and give that good conversation on both ends when we did have the in live person conversation. Let me be clear on that.
No. We super
Clear
clear.
it
Ain't
up.
no set. Look, ain't
You
no
see, when
setups.
them eyebrows start raising, like, you know what I mean? And she
Yeah.
probably on here watching somewhere too. Like,
Yeah, I was wondering why you was going into you was giving her flowers. Wherever she at in this live, she's
it's
proud.
real though. It's real.
No,
It's
for
real.
sure. No, 100%. One thing I will say, you know what I'm saying, is like you said, in our communities, you know what I mean, our women are definitely holding it down, man. Like, you know, and in fact, you know, a lot of we might even have to not only polyamory, you know what I mean, we might have to discuss role changes in our households, period. Because, you know, if we have a brother, he might be a good brother and he might not be in a position that his woman is in. He may have to take, you know what I mean, the role of holding down, you know what I mean, the house to a certain degree, you know what I mean? I mean, whatever. So to me, you know, for us to, if we're a team, you know what I mean, let's just say we have 10 responsibilities, you know what I mean, for our team to work, or for our system to work, you know what I mean? If we're a team, it doesn't necessarily matter which 5 I get or which 5 you get. You understand what I'm saying? So right now, on the financial side, for some of the brothers that might not be in positions of their women, then it might be, you know what I mean, a situation where the woman takes the lead in the finance area, or in terms of the breadwinner, and the man take a different role, an untraditional role. Because I think we get caught up a lot of times in what society says our household should look like, you know. And I like this conversation because it's saying, you know, what is going to work for your household? What can possibly work for your community? What can work for your situation? And it doesn't have to be what we've been saying our whole lives, the white picket fence. You know, the guy goes to work, comes back, honey, I'm home. She done vacuumed, and you know what I mean, the plate right there. It could look, you know, however it needs to look for your situation. And I think that in terms of us, we don't need to be afraid of other of a non, you know what I mean, conventional way of running a household, whether it's polyamory, whether it's the man taking on the traditional women's roles per se, you know what I mean. But we need to be open to it because, you know, ultimately, like you said, who's suffering in our communities if we don't have households that are, you know, running smoothly and efficient and, you know what I mean, working together as a team.
Right. I think long as things are discussed, like, because I'm raising young women and young men, right? We got 3 daughters, we got 4 sons, right? My daughters just happen to be the oldest, 2 15, 1 12, and my sons is 9. We got 2 7-year-olds, and we got the baby. He'll be 2 soon, right? So I think the biggest thing is teaching them how to uh, work on yourself and walk into who you're supposed to be, even before putting demands on another person. In other words, like, you know, like everybody's vision of marriage is not the same. Like, you know, I've been married before and I've been divorced, right? This is my second marriage. My ex-wife and I have a great relationship right now. Like, we have a dope relationship.
That's
And
nice.
just from working on ourselves, we've even come to the table and had a conversation like, wow, like we saw what we did wrong. Like
Mm-hmm.
there never was a, you know, because we're older, we're wiser, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, like, you know, we kind of just dove in and then learned along the way. And there's nothing wrong with that too. But if you don't have the same moral values or the same belief system, even in what marriage is, and you find that out while you're in the midst of it, this is where a lot of problems can come along. And, you know, anything can work as long as the minds are, you know, in agreement of it, is how I believe. So, for example, I still traditionally, like, the man has a role. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's not get it twisted. Like, you know, you can still be the man of your house and not be the breadwinner. But it
Mm-hmm.
has to be like, you know, it still has to be an order in things. Like, traditionally we say God, man, woman, children, right? In a traditional sense. But do the parents play into that role regardless of where the income is coming? And that has a lot to do with whether you can accept that or not, is based a lot of time based on how we were raised.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? By our parents, or whatever household we grew up into. Right. And so because you don't want to disempower either person. You want to, you know what I
Right.
mean? You want to know there's the order of things, and how you teach your children is how they're going to take themselves out into the world and duplicate whatever they've been around. They do what they see, not what we say, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, but it's coming to the clarity as well, and being honest and saying, can I accept this? For men and women. Some men don't feel like they can be the man when they're not winning the
Breadwinner. Mm-hmm.
are the
All
breadwinner,
right.
when they're not, don't have the income. Some men become envious of their women,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some women feel like they can't give their men the total respect if they're not making as much as them. You have to be honest with yourself too and say, is this a problem for me? Right? Like, clearly we know the right thing to say. We know
Mm-hmm.
what sounds good, but if you're honest, if you're 100% honest with yourself, right? Like, most men don't feel like men if we're not in our work.
Mm-hmm.
Your work meaning, like, you know, whatever your purpose is or what you was meant to do by the creator, right? And a lot of times that leads to the finances or things of that nature. And so I think more than anything, to walk with confidence and to still be that head of the household, like, we as men first and foremost have to still you know, walk in that confidence of ourselves and be confident enough to know, like, because we in America, like your woman could be an entertainer, like it's a or like in the music industry, or she could be in real estate, or she
Yeah.
may have a gift that brings the bread in,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you might be the supporting cast.
Right.
You may
Right.
need to be the supporting cast. It does not
Right.
mean that you still don't hold a man position in your household.
So I mean, all right. So this is what we gonna do. Well, I agree with you. In terms of that, and I think that for a long time we judged uh a man based on his finances, and that's always going to be somewhat of a
Yeah.
gauge. You know what I mean? But what I want to do, I want to tap in. I know we had some sisters, so I wanted to get a viewpoint of some sisters that were in a polyamorous relationship to see how it was on that end. You know what I mean? In terms of how the relationship worked, how did it flow right? Was three they say three's a crowd, you know what I mean, that type of thing. So Cherie, when you get a chance, I want you to have your folks to
Yeah,
chime in
she not on
when
here though.
yeah, so they can so we can just get a little perspective, because I mean
I
what
appreciate being involved in this topic, good
hey,
brother. This is
listen.
a great topic. Y'all mind if I tune out and still listen in?
Absolutely, absolutely, I appreciate you,
Shop.
brother. Yes, sir. We needed that. We needed that insight for
I
sure.
appreciate y'all. Thank you for
Yes,
the
sir.
invitation.
Absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you, brother.
All right.
All right, so we gonna see. Let's get some more insight. So you know what I mean? Brother Yusuf's insight was from, so the topic of course is polyamorous relationships, you know what I mean? And that's the main topic. So Brother Yusuf came on just so he could give us some insight. He had a friend of his that he went to, well, he was in school with, or that he met while he was in school, rather, from the Middle East. And his perspective on polyamory was completely different. So what he said, pretty much, this young man was expected to have a polygamous relationship or marriage and have multiple wives. From the Mid-Eastern side, it's almost selfish if you attain a certain amount of wealth and you don't share it amongst more than one wife. And that's one of the things that brings respect to your name and to your to your lineage. So he was speaking on how from a different perspective, you know it's looked at completely different depending upon what culture that you're in. For us, I know the first time you really hear polyamory, and I can speak for myself, first thing you think is threesome. You know what I mean? And it's a difference. A threesome is a fantasy. You know what I mean? It's something that, you may experience or whatever the case may be for sexual pleasure. You know what I mean? But polyamory is more like you locking in with a whole, you locking in with responsibility for a whole nother household. So, what I mean, you have to equally maintain household. So it's a serious, it can be a serious responsibility. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we be like, no, my man, I'm selfish. My man ain't gonna do X, Y, Z. But are we talking about a threesome, or are we talking about polyamory? And today the topic is polyamory. So let's get a little insight. Cherie, did you have your friend? Um,
She didn't. She didn't. She didn't get. She not. I didn't see her on here. So,
okay.
um, I mean, we could just continue the conversation. But it's people on here who, again, they asked about, you know, instead of it being two women, what about two men? What if the woman wants another husband or another boyfriend or just another male in the equation? Because of course we all thinking about threesomes and all other stuff like that, because that's what most men think about. I get all the financial and all that. It all sounds great, but let's be realistic here, because that's what everybody on here is, being realistic. And it is about a threesome. It is about being pleasured and all that. That's a big thing for everyone. So people were asking what would be the problem with another man if the woman is the one saying, like, I want to involve another man in the relationship.
Um, So is it so let's see by raising hands how many women would like to have two men, you know what I mean, in a relationship. So are we talking about a threesome now?
No, we
Or we
talking
talking
about
about
this polo stuff, Palopoly, whatever it's called. What we talking about here, okay? We talk about
yeah.
Palopoly. It's money, finances,
All right.
and getting ass.
So what's the situation? So the woman is
So
the
they were
breadwinner.
asking, the women were saying, no breadwinner, no nothing. It
I mean, that's
they
what it's
said if
about.
we talking about polyamory for not about a lady bringing in another man. No, they were. That is the topic. I know we know what the topic was, but we also talking about what someone asked, and that was one of the questions. So that's why the question was asked, so that it can get insight from a male's perspective, like how would they feel if another man see men getting on here, you getting all emotional and all that other stuff like that, but you
I'm
can't
saying
get
people
like
getting
that. It's a conversation. And someone asked, what about with another man being involved?
I mean, that's what you would have to. You would definitely have to ask women. I don't know if it's women that would rather have a relationship with two men. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, I think what I'm saying, more power to them. You know what I mean? More if you find. I actually saw that the other day. I'm looking on social media or whatever. I know it'd be a lot of fake news and all that, but it was a woman that had that had two guys, and and they was in a polyamorous relationship, you know what I'm saying? And the guys both seemed like they really was into her, and you know what I'm saying, and that was they was really doing their thing. So it can happen.
It's
I mean,
double standards. See, that's what I'm saying, because it'll be like men will have all the excuses in the world why they feel as though that another man shouldn't be a part of the equation, but it's all right, all everybody all head forward, head like just all in for the two women to be involved.
but
So it's like
I can't see the comments. Is that what somebody's saying? Because I'm not saying that.
that was early. That was when Yusuf was on here, he was talking. That's what they asked, but it was
Oh,
like it got brushed to the side. So it's just like I'm just trying to address what was asked,
oh,
because they were trying to figure out exactly what we were talking about. So that's why. But I'm asking you,
me.
you being married, how would you feel if I said, Jamal, I wanted to have another husband?
It wouldn't work for me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because that wouldn't work for me. You know what I mean? But
Because
like I
it's
said,
just as many men as it is women in real life. But of course, it's the ratio, and it's so many women out here and less men, and it's like, come on now,
yeah,
like it's like a
hold
double
on. Let me ask you a
standard. Like,
question.
yeah, they
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
see.
Let me just say this. Like, women, y'all gotta do better. Like, honestly, it's like to the point where every time a man say we want to do something, you gotta like turn around and say, why can't women do it? Like, it's certain things that y'all can do that we can't do. You don't see me begging to want to. Why can't men get pregnant? Like, I'm not trying to handle baby. I don't want
They
no
about to
parts
get
of that
together.
at all. Like, stop trying to. That is so childish. Well, women want to have two men, but as soon as I said how many women want two men,
They
then
said pull
everybody
your
got
screen
quiet.
down so you can read the comments.
I can't. I was trying to. I can't. Hold up. Hold up.
Y'all hear him?
I
Yes,
can't
sis.
scroll
Who
down.
raised him?
Yeah, like that is so childish. Why women can't? Well, I don't hear no women say why women can't take out the trash. Why women can't
We
take
can
out the
take out the
trash?
trash. We can do you.
What?
Listen,
Well,
Yusuf
well, guess
already
what?
said on here that we can do
Well, guess
everything
what?
you do.
Listen, guess what? Some things that you don't need to do.
See, somebody said I will take two men any day.
That's what I'm talking about. And you deserve that. You need to get that. But don't just do it just because men doing it. That's all I'm saying. Why do you want to do stuff just because somebody else do it? Like that, I don't get that. Like, if you want to do it, if you want two dicks, you go ahead and you get slap happy, but don't do it because somebody else getting, you know what I mean, double tits. Like, no, like
But
y'all
the
got to do
whole
better,
purpose
man.
of the
I'm sorry.
the whole purpose of the conversation basically is, from both perspectives. It's just not one sided, and that's what they're saying. It's not one sided, and
Okay,
no matter what you saying, no matter what you talking about, just like
okay.
you feel how you feel about two women, they're saying, what's the difference of having two men? What's the point? Why not?
But what I mean, what is it going to do? Is it just the sexual pleasure, or is it what?
Drama come out when you can't figure out today. Ain't no drama because we a family. We together. Remember, this is a
What?
village. So it's everybody kids. It don't matter who made them. This is everybody kids. That don't even matter. So,
Yeah, I can't see none of the comments. Let me see if I can scroll down so I can see some of these comments. Hold on, I'm gonna go out and come back in so I can see the comments.
It's all they can't help being this double advocate crap. I can't. It's always no. You women always want to do what I say. You always want to do when I be like, I want to jump, you want to jump. No, that's just realistic. That's how we feel. We feel the same way you feel. If you getting on my nerves, I want to go to my side piece. I mean, my other husband. I'm sorry. Hey, listen. Yes, y'all both the dad. Yes, they is. Yeah, your son or daughter gonna have two dads. Y'all both my baby dad. I got two baby dads. Listen, why not?
Yo, this is hilarious. This is hilarious.
I'm tired of this. Why you tired, Chad? Why? What you tired of? I want me a husband too. I want to have me another husband. If one husband get on my nerves, I'm gonna go to the other husband. I'm gonna talk shit about the other husband to my other husband. If my one husband don't want to take out the trash, I tell my other husband to take it out. He'll do it.
Yo, y'all crazy. Look, I'm just seeing some of these comments. Chad, where you at, man? Tell us a little bit about, you know what I mean, your experiences or any of your knowledge
Come on, Chadwick. You can tap
on
in
the
a
whole
little bit.
polyamory, man. Help me out, man, because they done ran with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Two daddies, all this. What's all that about? You know what I mean?
Listen, we have a double. We can have a triple date.
A triple
Me,
date.
you, and my other husband.
Listen. I doubt that.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Y'all kill me. Y'all got all the little what it shoulda, coulda, woulda, would it be? Come on now. It's always that.
Listen, no, it's not always that. What I'm
Yep,
trying
it
to
is. You
what you
just said
not
that.
getting. Look, what you not getting is
Chadwick.
actual tradition.
What? Wagwan.
Wagwan,
Hold on,
me
I'm sorry,
brethren.
y'all. Let me order this checkers real fast. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Hey,
Yeah, I can't.
this guy, man.
Let me mute y'all. That's ignorant. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, what I'm saying is two
Two
brother-in-laws. Hey, Lena,
brother-in-laws.
shut
Ain't
up.
that right? Hello? Yes.
Hey, Lena, chill. Hey, Lena,
Yes.
chill. Talking two
Listen.
brother-in-laws. Oh, shit. From a
Okay, you
poly.
come on. It sells Marie.
Yeah, come
She
in.
said that's
She been
a
a poly woman
monogamous
for 11
mindset for
years.
real. Coming from polygamy. She been the one for 11 years. Can you come on and share, please?
Yeah. Enlighten us, please. Because they just, with all of this, you know what I mean? The shenanigans. I want to hear something from somebody that's been in the trenches. I mean, that's what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
this. She said, so it's okay for us to share our husbands. It's a new day.
What day is it?
Like, we got to, like,
It's Wednesday.
come on, man.
Ain't nothing new about the day. It's the same day it been.
Take you off mute, Chad. I don't know what happened. He probably going to just have it going.
Mm-hmm.
Twin strollers. Oh. Not my husband. Not my, okay. Sharon is not Karen over here, okay?
Y'all be cracking me up.
Can y'all hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Period. Period. Yes, I can hear you. Period, Montana. I ain't sharing shit.
Wagwan extended family who gives
Well,
tables and waiting for a chair.
well,
We
But I want
got
to
you.
say
We
this.
got you right now. I got a chair for you.
Oh, that's
oh
a
yeah, we
bet.
do. We do.
I'll be there at 9 o'clock tomorrow to pick it up.
Period.
5001
Yeah.
Westminster. Oh, my fault.
No, no, no. That's a nice little plug. If y'all
Yeah.
want your
He can
nails
have a
done,
wife. Oh,
ladies,
he can't have a wife.
ladies,
Okay.
see,
MXL. All right, so I want to say this. Let me get this caveat first because I've found out
What
that
you
I wrote.
cooking, girls? I'm cooking dinner. What you cooking? I want some. She said she's gonna come on in 20 minutes. All right, don't forget.
So I'm here to ruffle feathers, but I want to say this
Come.
first. I'm
there you
not
go. scared
of none of y'all, right? I'm not
I
scared.
know where you live at, Chad.
So I'm not even speaking to y'all because you guys are, y'all open-minded people. I'm talking about y'all followers. I'm telling y'all
Yeah.
that I'm not scared of y'all, but I'm also a devil's advocate. So therefore, I like to play both sides of the fence. So,
Talk to 'em.
granted, we're gonna talk about it religiously first. You know what I mean? Based upon me being Muslim, and I can't wait for
Yes.
Ramadan.
Ramadan.
It is hadiths in the Quran that tells us why is it permissible for men to have more than one wife. Now, there is never nothing inside the Quran that's going to say that women should have more than one husband.
That's not.
I don't believe.
Message.
Let me go get my. Let me go
So
get the contract. Hold on a sec.
the
Sorry.
reasons that we can have, wives is for strong reasons, and I'm pretty sure there's other ones. I'm not 100% sure, but Allah guide me with what I'm about to say. Women's makeup isn't the same as ours, right? Like, granted, if y'all want to have the same job as us, y'all deserve the same pay or more, right? Y'all don't deserve lesser. Y'all not lesser than us in any way of the imagination. But there is certain things that you guys just aren't accustomed to do. It's not meant for y'all to do. And it's cool, but what happens is a lot of women disregard a man wanting another wife by saying, can I have another husband? It's not meant like that religiously.
Childish.
Now, take Western civilization out of it, and let's talk about what you and your people do. If he say you can have two husbands and you say you can have two wives, do whatever makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, none of us really have all of the answers.
Mm-hmm.
But women have to be a little bit more understanding. I wrote about this in my second book of the things like, all right, Indians. I was talking to Maul about this before. Indians, moms and dads find them a husband and a wife because they know what a person needs versus what a person wants. A lot of women, a lot of men too, are terrible at picking people in their relationships. They pick the wrong type of person and wonder why they keep getting the short end of the stick. If you really want to think about it, I'm not going back and forth with none of y'all because most of y'all be lying, right? We know how people be saying, oh, I would never do this, but we know your real background. So I'm here talking truth and facts. And if you're not going to open up about this, I don't even want your opinion, right?
There you go.
Oh, I would never want to have but you're a side chick. You've been a side chick for a long time. It would make more sense for you to have somebody home with you at night when you want them versus hoping that he has an argument with his girl, right? So let's be realistic. And being realistic is this. It would be cool. It would be cool for Cherie.
Knocked out that box. Sorry.
It would be cool for Cherie to be like, "Yeah, girl, what you doing tonight? Oh, nah, guess what? I just seen. I seen Ma at ShopRite with Denise. Oh yeah, I know about her. Oh yeah, that's his day. He with her for 2 days. You mad? Now she ain't got no tea. Now she like, oh, I ain't got no tea. Yeah, you out my business because I'm okay with it, right? If some of y'all don't even like being around y'all nigga that much.
That's
like y'all
a
be needing a break. Y'all arguing every 2 days, so why you can't go to another house?
That's a fact.
And if you knew, women don't know real men makeup. So that's why sisters got to have brothers and dads. And it was back in the day when the Temptations was popping, when Otis was still, when David Ruffin was something and he wasn't nothing.
David Ruffin
you
ain't
had
nothing.
to get dressed. You had to borrow your Uncle Cadillac. You had to come to the house and meet the dad and the brothers and tell them why you were even valuable enough to be in a relationship with them. I say that to say it's our job as brothers and dads and cousins to tell y'all women the real. We even cheat different. See, a woman to look at a man cheating and be like, how could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? it didn't mean nothing. But when y'all cheat, it means everything. Every part of your vagina, every part of your body gets so clenched up on this meat, and y'all loving him and y'all looking him in his eyes. A man don't even have to look a girl in the eyes. Man, don't ask your man, did he cheat on you? Ask him, did he kiss her? Did he kiss her? He gonna tell you no. Then you know what it is. Niggas don't be caring about these people. Paul, you can't laugh at stuff like this, man. You can't.
No, I'm looking at something else. I ain't even.
All right, cool. You watching wrestling? All right. So, if your question is why can't I have two husbands because I have that desire, then shut up. Not you, Sheree, but just shut up because you don't even want.
Okay.
If you
Don't
don't
come
want
to
it,
me.
if you don't want it, then why you even say, "Well, can I have?" It's so
Right.
It's so much of an ignorant thing because you're really suppressing what somebody else wants, but you don't even like. It's like arguing with somebody about something you really don't care about.
But listen, I don't necessarily agree with that though, Chad, because that don't just because a woman say it doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't want it. She could be really speaking her piece. That could be something that she really wants. She might really want another man, but at the same time, you have men who like, what? Oh, you want another man? Well, I'm out of here. But why? But you want me to be okay with you having another woman though? That don't make
But
no
what
sense.
are we talking about? Are we talking religiously, or are we just talking about living your life?
No, we taking the religion part out. You took religion out. That was early on in the program. We talking
All right,
about what you just said.
I'm gonna tell you why it's a difference, right? Because if
Why?
Maul is out here with 47 women, I'm the man on the Maul just being a nigga. I'm man. If you out here with 47 men, you's a hoe for sure. It's just meant like that. So that lets you know that's why y'all not qualified for that. And I'm sorry.
He's saying what everybody thinks. I mean, come on.
That's just what
no,
it is.
he's saying what every man is thinking. He's not saying what every woman is thinking.
Oh, y'all know
no. So you think it's women out here saying, "Go ahead, girl, do your thing"?
Yeah. Because you want me to be out here, go ahead and why can't I get? Oh, she just being a woman. It's cool. Why I gotta be a hoe?
Men take, if you do the percentages, vice versa.
Here we go. Here we go.
Women take men back.
To the man.
Women take men back way more than men take women back. You are disgusting to me.
Well, no,
Come
listen.
on,
But
girl,
I'm asking.
lady.
This is a question,
Expected,
Chad. What I'm asking is, Chad.
Yes,
Let's take out that. Listen. Let's take out she a hoe. Let's take out he ain't shit. Let's take out all of that. Why can't it be an even? Why can't it be an even exchange? If I want to go do my thing, it's like, go ahead, girl, do your thing. So when he go do his thing, I'll be like, okay, I see you. I want that same energy. I want that same energy. Yeah.
You got twin kids. You got a boy and you got a girl, right? They both 16. Who you giving condoms to first?
Both of them.
I'm just
saying.
We're not dealing with the fact that it's.
Yes, I am. Because guess what? We in 2022, and it's 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds who got babies. So let's be real.
All right, let me put that caveat on it, and that's what I was about to say. I said, yeah, not willingly though. You're giving it to them because of the state of what it was. But if you had the choice, you would keep your daughter Kuda Puff closed as long as you could.
Exactly.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I'm gonna be talking to my daughter about birth control. I'm be talking to my daughter about, using protection because these niggas is sneaky.
Yeah, but you're telling her.
I'm be talking to my daughter like that. I'm not gonna just talk to my son. I'm talking to both.
But you're talking to your daughter with the regards of knowing that you don't have no choice in the matter. But I'm asking you, if you had a choice in the matter, you would not have to give it to her because you wouldn't want to do it. You would not want to give it to her.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you would want to save her for a long time and teach her the game.
You can get
pregnant. Her out here doing it.
Listen, I can't control if my daughter want to be a thought. So I'd rather tell her the tea now to protect her because I can't decide what my daughter's going to do and what she's not going to do. I'm not going to not have a conversation with her because I want to protect her from the world. Like, come on.
All right, so now listen, this one, Ma is a great talker and he's a great philosopher. Ma told me this the other day. He said men think with logic, right? And logic comes from the brain. So when you think, you're thinking with the brain. And then he says women think with the heart. You're trying to think with a heart that isn't designed for thinking. It's for feeling. So a lot of the times when a man is telling you, you should have did this, you should have did this, you're saying, But I feel like, no, I didn't ask you about your feelings. I asked you about logic. That's what makes
Yeah, I
us
am,
different.
but I'm not speaking from my heart. I'm speaking
You
from being
are.
a woman. I am a woman too. I
But
experience things too. I know
but
what
I
it's like to
asked
be
you,
a woman. So I'm not
I
gonna
said,
not tell my daughter. I'm speaking off an experience of my mind and what I experienced, not off of my heart. It don't
no,
have nothing to do with my heart.
but what I'm saying is, I asked you, right? So you try to take it and spin it. I remember what I said because I was
I
there
ain't
when I
trying to
said it.
spend
Look,
nothing. I'm just telling you what it is.
no, I
I
said
ain't
if you
spending
had the
nothing.
choice, I said if you had the choice to save your daughter, you gotta give her the game because you know what the streets is like. But if you had the chance to save her, would you be out here willingly giving her that stuff if you knew your word was law? You would not. You would be saving your daughter for marriage. You would not do that for your son. Because you know your son is out here. You know that if a boy doesn't go out here and get his meat wet, he will be classified as a y'all emotional. You doing this? You doing this with feelings. You doing this with feelings.
Yeah.
Feelings in that. The facts of the matter is y'all not built for that. There is only 20% of women who have the 80% of the sex drive that men have. So what is we talking about? A lot of y'all, in the Bible, it says this. It says, don't leave it. I know there's a lot of THs in the Bible. Don't leave if your husband is thirsty. If you leave your husband thirsty, if he will find another well to quench his thirst. A lot of y'all don't even be wanting to be a full frame woman, don't even know how to do it, and you want somebody to stay there and content with that bullshit. Damn, can I get a clap? Woo!
No.
Yes, yes.
Because I mean, I'm just telling you, gonna say that I'm speaking off from emotions or whatever.
How
But
do you feel
as a
about
woman,
that?
no.
How you feel about it?
How do you
You
feel
said,
about
how do
how
I
I
feel
said?
about it?
How do you feel about what I
I don't
said?
care. You can say feelings or not, but I'm still a woman.
Right.
I'm still
That's
a
right.
woman. So
Right.
this is my daughter. That's just like Jamal. He's going to speak from a man's perspective. He's still speaking off emotions and everything else too, just like me. Y'all kill me with this.
But
Men
he can
don't have
think
emotion stuff.
logically.
Like y'all act like y'all walk around all the time with the brain and all that. Come on, Chad.
How
Listen,
many times has Maul?
Walk around with
How
the
many
brain.
times has Maul stopped you from slapping on your kids?
you
That's
said
funny as
what?
shit.
How many times has Maul stopped you from slapping on your kids? And he feels the
He
same
don't be
exact way you
around.
feel. So you
I'm
slap on the
always around
kids is
my
what you're
kids.
saying? Hold
Where
on.
was that Tyler Perry shit?
Let's ping this. Child Protective Services. When Maul is not around, I beat the kids. But we're more reasonable. We're more
But I'm
understanding.
just saying. No, I do understand what you're saying, Chad. But we just like we talked about on the last live, like men has emotions too. Let's not try to make it seem like y'all got all the answers and y'all think about everything with y'all brain, and that's not true.
No, we're very emotional. We're actually more emotional than women are. But
No.
in a small capsule collection, guess what?
Yes.
If Maul feels some type of way about me, he gonna say it because I'm a man. But if it's anything he gotta feel about a woman, Sheree is gonna get the emotional side of Maul
we
that
ready
nobody
now?
else is gonna see. Maul gonna be like, I feel
Hold
like
up.
you
I
and he
don't
can
know
do
why.
that with you because he's allowed to give you his
Look,
vulnerability. He ain't gonna be like that on the street.
I
In the
don't know
street, I'm gonna
why.
smack the shit out this nigga, man.
Look, I don't I don't know why like you keep on trying to press this issue that men is more emotional than women.
Yes,
I mean,
we are.
so listen, this what I'll say. This is what I'll say. I'll say, so I'm judging off of what we show, you know what I'm saying, and how we show it. So, you know what I mean, and how we handle, you know what I'm saying, our emotions. At the end of the day, you know what I mean, we do show emotions differently. We absolutely have emotions, you know what I'm saying? More or less, I don't know. But what we have been taught to do and what is necessary for a protector to do is be prepared, you know what I mean, for moving forward. So a protector can't just sit back and cry over a situation that happens. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. We get the same feelings of pain, of suffering and hurt. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. But how we have to manage it is different. So we have to have, at times, a higher emotional IQ. You know what I mean?
I'm about to
It's
order
just
this
what
food.
it
I'm
is.
sorry. Keep talking. I'm
You
sorry.
know what I
I'm about
mean?
to mute myself.
Like
That's
I'm
not
just
true.
saying, it's just what it is. Like
we ready now?
you had hold up. You have the
Can I get that
congenital.
Megan Thee Stallion with the hot sauce? I'm sorry, y'all. My bad.
Brother.
Let me
I'm
mute
Come on,
myself.
beloved.
not to make you stop you.
You know what I mean? But that's
Marie, we ready
mean,
whenever you are. You gotta hit the little request button at the bottom.
polyamory. That's the conversation, gang. Polyamory. Multiple partners. It could be husbands or wives. You know what I mean? Multiple partners. Let's have some dialogue about it. Does it work? You know what I mean? What's the deal with it? You know what I mean? Could it work in the household? Would you be open to, you know what I mean, 2 wives or two husbands? You know what I mean? That's the dialogue for the night. Let's get it. Who we got coming on? This the good sister that
Marie, yeah, she gotta push the request button at the bottom.
So let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I agree with what you said, but that's the beginning part of how I feel about why we're more emotional than women, because
Okay.
there is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people that we feel as though we're allowed to get super emotional with, because it doesn't go against how we look on the outside to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So Maul can be very emotional with Cherie because this is his confidant, this is his wife. So
Right.
he will do some things with Cherie that he wouldn't do with a nigga in the street, because a nigga in the street gotta get smacked. You got to be a lion out in the street when you really a lamb. Not you per se, but I'm just using an example.
Gotcha.
So that's why dudes are out here shooting before they out here fighting, because they think that's what they have to do to show that their manhood. So the emotions cause us to shoot and kill people, and it'd be a mistake. But because we're not allowed as men to take a minute to really get our thoughts together. So we gotta lash out on the first thing. But usually, prime example, if you're arguing with Cherie, you might be a little upset, but you're gonna go take a walk. Because you need to get your thoughts together, because your first couple of thoughts, you a nut, I'm a nut. Because we haven't really got or digested or put our digested how we feel. And then you gotta put all of that stuff inside of a blender, blend it up together, and then figure out what the real issue is. Because we'll start arguing and not even make sense, because we can't even really understand what our real issue is, because there's so many emotions.
Yeah, but
women are allowed to
listen.
They're allowed to not understand what they're feeling, but cry in front of you, and it's okay.
Right.
You start crying, you probably wouldn't be married to your wife.
No,
you
like
I don't understand why every time I try to ask for some extra barbecue sauce, you just tell me no, take sweet and sour. Y'all wouldn't have been married.
Listen, I don't have the luxury of being of crying. If, you know what I mean, if I can't find, you know what I'm saying, if I can't find my sneakers, or you know what I mean, or something. I don't have that luxury. Cherie
you do, but you don't.
She could break down and
as a
start
man,
crying
you don't.
because she can't, you know what I mean, she couldn't find her AirPods or something like that. Like, I don't have that luxury. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had a father that, you know what I'm saying, that for me, you know, he represented masculinity, and he represented leadership. Huh? Right. So, you know what I mean? My dad represents leadership, masculinity, and strength, you know what I mean? And protection. And that's what a man is supposed to, you know what I mean, exude and represent for his household.
But under all of that strength is a nut.
No. But listen
Yeah,
because
that's just like you said. That's why y'all blowing people's heads off, because y'all don't release some of that emotion. Sometimes you might just have to cry, and it's okay.
I'm gonna tell you why a lot of these dudes is blowing heads off, because a lot of these dudes don't have fathers in their households. A lot of these dudes are raised and they mimic the feminine behavior that they see inside their household.
What woman you know out here is toting that gas, shooting a 30-30 with the special?
Yeah,
I mean, 63rd.
They stabbing niggas. They just starting. They getting gas now. They got gas now, and they shoot.
They about to cancel Maul. Maul saying anybody that gets stabbed, that's a feministic trait. Trait of a woman if you get stabbed.
I'm just telling you.
That's the most personal way to shoot.
No, I'm not saying that I want a man to be no crybaby though, but I'm saying I wouldn't judge him if he did break down for whatever reason. I'm not going to judge my husband. No, I am not. No, I am not. No, I'm not. I wouldn't do that.
We're crying all 2022 for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Okay, we crying together. Men are human and they cry, just like my girlfriend said. That's the problem with y'all. With like, when you cry,
I don't have a problem.
Okay.
Cherie, 3 people just bought them MXL boxers. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You ain't gonna. You be like, hey, this when you turn into a man. Hey, my nigga, you gonna have to stop with all this crying.
You gotta tap in, sis. You gotta hit the request button at the bottom, the little camera plus. You gotta hit the plus sign at the bottom to request it.
Yeah, we crying over everything.
Listen, okay. I'm okay with that. It's nothing wrong with that. So listen, let me tell you this, right? Let me ask you this.
The real crybabies
Right? So
listen to
you know
Jay.
how at weddings, right? You know how at weddings, right? When you see your wife walking down the aisle, what's that come down the face? Because I know it ain't sweat. I
But
know it
let me
ain't
ask you a question.
sweat.
Where did
I
that
ain't
start,
cry.
though, Sheree? Where did that start? If this is a whole bunch of single women that says, if my man ain't crying, I'm going back. See how social media has made it a thing where you gotta cry? That don't.
Hey,
I ain't cry.
Ain't nobody crying.
I
Hey,
ain't
hey,
Hey
cry.
hey,
y'all.
nothing wrong with it,
sis, what
Chad.
up?
Nothing.
And most of the niggas that's crying is really crying because they like, I can't believe I'm doing this shit. That's what they crying for.
First of all,
Ain't no
can I
I
say
serious
get
this,
it.
joy.
y'all? And I
When they
want
got
to
the
ask.
fingernails and they start doing this, first of all,
No, no,
you better
no.
listen.
I really want to get back though, and I don't know about everybody else, but my curiosity has been, and I've put this in the chat. What if the desire, let's leave religion out of this. What is the desire for men to have, or even women to have another spouse? Like what does that provide you with as a person autonomously that you would like to occupy and entertain other people, openly?
That's
Most
a
of
good
us
question.
are fighting our demons anyway. Most men don't want to be with one person. I'm being honest. I'm sorry. Most men don't want to be with one person. So if I got the opportunity to be allowed to have somebody else, there's no reason for me to cheat on you.
Okay.
Most men are curious, and most men aren't satisfied. Women are satisfied. Women that get their Prince Charming and be satisfied. This is where I really
Uh,
believe as a
have you
man.
met these princes in 2022?
Say
They're
that again.
giving they're giving very frog. They're giving they're giving frog. Okay.
What do
So
you mean by that? I'm sorry. I'm not.
what I mean, and I said this earlier, I said that the conversation is fascinating because we're speaking from a space of, you all are speaking from a space of religion and a Bible that was written who knows how long ago, right? The reality
Mm-mm.
is
You
that
ain't gonna listen to
today,
the religion
I'm not rooted
because
in
it's
that.
the old
I'm
book.
not rooted in that. I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that
So thou shalt kill.
I want to talk about, y'all wanted to talk about the feelings, but I think it's something to that. Like, how a
Mm-hmm.
man actually feels emotionally about these moments, because a woman can articulate.
Mm.
Yusuf did a very good job. If I'm being honest, I was going back and forth and saying little funny things, but I thought he did a very good job
Oh,
about
I appreciate
articulating
that, man. Give me my
the
rose in my crown.
desire to want to be with another person, or like why what is it in a man, in or woman, that you feel like when you meet a person you haven't met your partner, and is your partner only rooted in physical, that you need to bring on another person to be more entertained?
Mm.
That's a good question.
It's a great question. I also think that some of us are really good communicators, and we really do strive with communication and being around a lot of people. So sometimes a person like me, if I meet a person that I like, I'm a helper, right? But I'm also a person who loves people. So if I meet a person
Mm.
and I can see that a person can kind of like need help, or like, you can't just be out here helping everybody. So I would love to marry you because I handle your situation and I'll be cool with it. I mean, I'm a very conversationalist. I like to have conversations, and I'm intrigued not by body types and looks, but I'm intrigued by what's between your ears. So a conversation like that would be like, dang, I would love to marry you. I would marry somebody
But
like you.
my question is this: y'all men don't even want to marry one bitch. How did y'all get to a place where y'all ready to marry two? How did y'all get there?
Now
Like,
listen. All
my
right,
thing,
so
because I'm
listen.
not saying that, and I want to be clear, because I always tell people I believe in a lifestyle where people mind their business. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Because you don't know what's going on in my motherfucking house, so you should mind your goddamn business. And I mean that deeply, right? I mean that if you
Period,
see
sis.
my man in the streets, mind, and you come to me, bitch, you the problem. He ain't the problem,
Hmm.
because you
mm,
don't know if that's my girlfriend, and
mm.
he out there. You don't know what our
Hmm.
situation is, right? So what I'm getting at though is, when did we get to a space? Why does it have to be a space where you have to marry another spouse? Why isn't the conversation more, why aren't we allowed to let our marriages, our relationships look the way we want them to look?
Okay.
So
Why do we feel the stigma or the pressure to be monogamous
I,
when
I, that's
we
a
should
great
just
question.
define our relationship?
Well, I think that like one of the things that you did that you might not know you did, but you did because I seen you did it. You said you was trying to pass religion, right? So
All the way. Because I ain't
when
got time
you
for that.
when you pass
And by the way,
religion,
they're related. By the way,
Yeah.
Chad, they are
That's
related.
my blood brother.
Jamal,
Him
this is
right there,
Jamal's
that's my
sister.
blood
They're
brother.
related.
My blood brother.
can somebody tell
That's
me
our
what that has to
blood
do with
brother.
the price of tea in China?
Because we raised just the same.
Okay. All
Exactly
right,
the
but like,
same.
and even we
I
could be raised
know.
in the same house, and one of us could be a crackhead, and one of us could be successful.
That's
So
a fact, sweetie. That's a fact. That's a
No
fact.
crackheads in this household.
we,
Period, Pooh.
No judgment.
Not
inshallah.
near
No
one.
judgment. No judgment.
Hey man, there's a lot of lives that going on live. Let me check them powders than that urine.
No,
But I
but
just
look,
think
What's
that
the
hold
name?
on,
like,
hold on, real quick. Hey, Chad, not to cut you off, but real quick, you know what? I love the, I love the way, like the direction that you're going with this are in terms of, and we kind of hinted at it a little bit earlier, and it's like, you know what I mean? You really don't have to, create a relationship based on what, what society says it should be based on. You know what I mean? And I think
my
that,
wife say I clear. I'm sorry,
uh,
go ahead. I said my
but
wife
but
say I lie when I clear my throat like that.
shit.
She said you're lying.
That nigga
You're
lying.
lying.
Where you was at last night?
Uh, uh,
Go ahead, clear the lie, clear the truth out for the
that
lie.
nigga lying. No, but I just, I think that that's interesting. And one of the things that you said is what would give someone the desire to want a multiple people, and that's an individual thing. We all grow up differently. We all have different desires. That might be the same
Thank you.
desire. You might say that about somebody that just, what I mean, that made wigs.
I'm
Somebody might be
trying to.
like you got a banging wig, sis. Why you got to change your wig every, what I mean, however so often? And it might be you just love wigs. You might love, what I'm saying, to style them. You might love to have different looks. You may love the variety of it. And I think that,
Somebody hold this.
that can be a case with people, not just men.
Mm-hmm.
Some women, they love their
Let me
man,
get one of
but
them
they've
straws,
been
Cat.
with him for however many years, and they
Chad,
getting
come
the
out real
same,
quick. I'm gonna let the sister come in real quick.
you know
She
what I mean?
better be
And they,
talking some real good stuff. Well, I'm calling Instagram. So
I'm
all right.
No,
telling
we
you back
good.
here.
Bang on him. Bang on him, Cherie. We good.
Back out real quick, Chad.
We
Back
good.
out.
We good.
No, but you know what
He's
I mean?
done enough.
It's some women that have been in relationships for years, and they're tired of them same two
Oh,
positions, and they want to try something different. You know what I mean?
I
And they
agree
may
with
not
that.
be getting it, from their man at that time. What is wrong with them saying, "Hey, I want to bring another partner in, or I want to try something different"? Now, in other, like I seen, you know what I'm saying, and I see white people let the boy here let somebody pop his wife because that's what she likes. They don't let anything define, you know what I'm saying, what they, what they feeling. But they'll communicate that and have that open. And a lot of times they'll even share in it because they want to see their partner happy. So, you know what I mean? Why are we trying to dwell a partner's happiness if this is something that they may want to do or may be interested in? Why do what you like? Why should I have to say, you know what, Zara, you're only going to have 4 wigs. I don't want your ass to go out with that
Oh
kitten
well, I
twist
ain't gonna
joint.
be able to
Because
do it.
I'm just
I
saying.
ain't gonna be able to do
So
it.
so so why do we limit our partners? If we love you so much, why would we not allow you to experience something that will give you pleasure or make you happy? Why are we
Mm.
insecure about the fact that, hey, I can love or like something and
we
have a
can't.
passion for something or even a fantasy for something, but I still love you?
To love
You know what I mean?
openly. That's the whole point. Openly and freely.
All right. And with that and being said, come on in, chime in and talk to us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your situation.
All right. So I have been in this lifestyle for 11 years. My name's Ella Marie. Honestly, whatever y'all got to ask, y'all can ask. I'm open to give my input. But I will say, as far as, you did ask, what would cause somebody to want to bring in somebody else when they already have somebody?
And not in a
Again,
negative way.
no,
Just in,
which is understandable.
like what's the
So,
desire?
so my desire, I am a poly woman. So my desire is to be with a man and to be with a woman.
Mm.
So for
Mm.
me, that is what I want. That is what I strive after. Now, I'm not just going to go and be with a man who wants, I don't know, let's say he wants 5 wives. All right, that might not be the dynamic, or girls, whatever, loves. That might not be the dynamic that I'm interested in. So I'm not just going to jump into this and be okay with that. For those saying, oh, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Not in poly. You come into the relationship knowing everybody's like places, like what your dynamic is. And if you're one of the women who want to be with multiple men, that's fine. In poly, we're not going to sit here and we're not going to knock you, because no, there's nothing wrong with that. But if it doesn't fit my poly, our poly, it's not right for you, it's not right for us. Like it's not there. And that is, and one of the big things about poly people is we are very open. We communicate about everything, even the smallest of things. If something bothers us, we find in ourselves like what it is exactly, pinpoint what it is that is bothering you, bring it to the team. Hey, let's talk about this. Let's see where we can come up with something, or see, yes. So yeah, what's good for the goose is good for the gander in the right dynamic. It's
So
not
tell
for
us more
everybody.
about the team dynamic in terms
I was
of
just about to ask that.
how it makes it, how does that team thing work? Or is it more efficient for, you guys, like the day-to-day living and, other things? How does that work?
What do you mean? Like,
so
I
in
want to
terms of,
know who were you originally in a relationship with, and then who do you invite in? If you don't mind me
okay.
asking, sorry.
Okay, so I will just use this relationship that I'm in now. I was actually brought in as the second. And then things went the way they went, and now it is me and him searching to bring in another.
Oh, so she got the boot. Oh.
Don't say it like
The
that.
original got the
It's
boot.
not that she got the boot. It's none of that. It's all love. It's all, at the end of the day, some things aren't for everybody.
And you know what I like though?
And sometimes you find out when it's too late.
Things are different. But look, this is what I do appreciate about poly-minded, individuals, is
Yeah,
the
she left.
honesty.
Exactly.
Because you
Sorry,
figure, I know a lot of people that are in relationships like so this is like this kind of random, but it's some people, women that are bisexual or interested in being bisexual, and they may be, but they'll claim a set. So they'll claim they're straight, or they claim that they're gay, and be in a gay relationship, but they still want a man, and so eventually that urge, they'll satisfy it on the side, or they'll say that they're straight but have an urge for a woman, or whatever the case may be, and try to satisfy it on the back end, as opposed to just being upfront about it and saying, hey, this is something I desire, that I appreciate, and then finding that situation that works for you. So I respect the honesty and the upfrontness, because a lot of people live in poly lives, but they'd rather live it on the low and be sneaky about it, as opposed to just being upfront. And you know what I mean? So I definitely commend that part.
Big facts. Yeah. So the dynamic that we are going for is, it's a closed triangle, and it's basically, or a closed triad. All of us grinding, working the same, helping in the house, everybody, not one person, not two people. Like, no, everything is the same. Everything is equal. The whole point is to leave something behind for our children, to build, to have a better life, not to, all right, the sex is extra, cool, but like, we're all adults, you know what I mean? But like, that's not the focus. There's a way bigger focus, and you got to go into that knowing what your focus is, what the focus of your dynamic is.
Right.
That's deep.
He'll never fuck up. He'll never fuck up. He'll never fuck up.
Yo, that's definitely tough. You know what I mean? I definitely commend that mindset, because it's definitely a community mindset, and it's a big picture mindset. What's your thoughts on that?
I have a question. Do you feel the need to explain your lifestyle to other people? Like, you know what I mean? Like your family members and stuff like that?
But my family, there was really no explaining. It was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, again, I am who I am. I have been a bi woman all my life. I didn't know I was poly because I didn't know the term poly until later in my years. And I started doing research and it was like, why do I want, you know what I mean? And then I learned, okay, poly. But no, this has always been me. I've always wanted a man and a woman in my life to build with. And yeah, so I don't care to explain nothing to nobody. You either know or you don't.
Are
There's
you
nothing to it.
married to him? Are y'all married?
We're not married yet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And do you guys have and so how is it a blended family? You guys have children
Yes,
together? Okay.
we have a blended family.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Man, you guys also have children together as
We
well?
don't have any. We don't have any children together.
So that's another question too. How does it work with the children, you know what I mean, coming together and seeing an additional partner? How does that conversation look like? Or
So the conversation is, I can't really say how the conversation would look, but it's literally just simple. Mommy and daddy got, another girlfriend. We have a girlfriend. And honestly, I always been open with my children, the same way he's been open with his. We don't hide anything, and for them it's natural. It's love. They're not looking at it as, oh my God, there's two women, there's this, there's like, no, it's normal for them. It's natural. So to say like the conversation thing, like I can't really pinpoint that because again, it's their life. It's what they've known. Again, I've been in this for years.
Do you think that your choice, first of all, I think that this is beautiful. Like I really enjoyed like how you're sharing with us. So thank you for that. Like I find it to be absolutely beautiful because I believe you can find, like, love is what you make it. Your relationship is yours to define, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that your desire to be poly was rooted in more sexual, or
No.
was it rooted in just your desire to have a village and just, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it wasn't rooted in sexual at all. It was rooted in wanting to build a village, wanting more than, you know what I mean? When you grew up hearing it takes a village to raise a family. They said that for a reason. I have 3 girls alone. Okay. I have 3 girls alone. He has 2 girls. Okay, it's a lot, it's a lot. We have girls from 13 to 7. Okay. It is having that extra, that help, that your best friend, like basically your best friend. It doesn't even have to be nothing sexual. Like I said, the sex is extra, me being a bi woman, but it is about knowing that you got somebody beside you that you can really you can count on, that you can leave your kids with, that they know that they can leave your kids here and everything is good. Like it's a family, you know what I mean? That's it. And for me, it wasn't based on sex. It was based on building something bigger than what I had, than what I've seen my life, not wanting to struggle, not wanting my kids to struggle. It's bigger. It's so much bigger.
okay, I have one more question, then I'm going to drop because y'all are experts. I'm just coming in and popping in. But do you think, is this your first poly experience and it just lasted 11 years long?
No,
Or did
baby,
you have other experiences?
No, so I've had multiple experiences. I have been in the poly lifestyle for 11 years. I have been in this relationship for going on 2 years. So I have experience from all different sides. Like I said, for this relationship, I was the one who was brought in, and now we're the ones who are searching, So yeah. It's a journey.
I'm dropping, guys, but
I'm not going nowhere. Yes,
Ella,
it is
are
a journey.
a gem. You are an absolute
Yeah.
gem, and you should really be commended. I thank you personally for sharing that, because I just think that people need to hear that. I'm a married woman, you know what I mean? And I think it's just important for us to understand that relationships could look however the fuck we want them to. So thank you for sharing. I'm going to drop, y'all. Bye.
Praise God. Yes. Yeah. So I think just pretty much like Zara said, it's really good for us to experience and just get to hear someone with a non-traditional, so to speak, relationship, because for real we struggling, I mean, in our communities with our relationships, and just like just having functional relationships. And maybe some of the reasons why we're struggling is because we're not being true to what feels right for
You're
us.
fighting who you really are.
You're fighting who you really are. You know what I mean? So that's it. That is decent that you looked in the mirror, you soul search, you know what I mean, connected with who you are, and you said, this is what I want from life. And you know what I mean, you're finding, solace in that. And this is good because some people may be in relationships and you know what I mean, they may feel like I have to have my relationship in this certain box and they may be unhappy. And so now you're, pretty much dissatisfying two people because you can't be completely 100% with the person you're with or yourself. Just shedding some light on your experience, it gives another option for some people that may, have those same feelings like, yo, you know what I mean? And that's what happens. So a lot of women, they say, men cheat, this, that, and the third. So some men may be more comfortable in a poly relationship or whatever the case may be, where the communication is open, you know what I mean, they're upfront and they are building more of a community type of relationship, you know what I mean? And so then they won't be ridiculed or, you know what I mean, condemned for, something that they may feel naturally, you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely appreciate, you sharing. Is there anything that you would, if somebody was interested in it, is it any like things that you experienced in a poly relationship that didn't, go so well that or a bad experience, from being in a poly relationship?
So my advice to anybody looking to be poly, or looking into the lifestyle, do your research. Do your research and find out what works for you. As far as bad experiences and things like that, it's a journey. You live and you learn, and you know how to move better for the next experience, the next, journey, basically. I would say you gotta have a lot of self-awareness, because at the end of the day, in a poly relationship, yes, there are multiple individuals. Yes, there are multiple moving parts. You are still you are still in control of how you feel and the things that, might bother you, because we're all emotional. People can be jealous. You're allowed to be jealous. It's how you act and move on those feelings and what you're, you know what I mean? Like, trying to say, just know you and really be open. Do your research and don't jump into a dynamic that might not be yours. If you feel like it's not right for you, don't do it. Do your research, or not even research, but get to know the people more before you just jump in. And that'll avoid any extra nonsense, honestly.
All right, that's tough. Tough. One other question in terms of, what I mean, a household, like you were saying, so some people may get into a relationship and say, hey, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be, you know what I mean? And then get into a situation and may not like be self-assured, you know what I mean? Or may not have enough, self-confidence to be in it, because it can almost feel like at times, you know what I mean, a competition, like, you know what I mean? How does that get like managed in a relationship? Like, feelings and, seeing one person more or seeing, you know what I mean? Especially if it's like different households,
So yeah, that's another, it's going to depend on your dynamic. For me, everybody, it's all one household, So, but that's where I said it also comes into knowing yourself. And rather than acting on certain feelings, being bigger and being able to call everybody together and speak out what's bothering you. Communication is one of the biggest things in poly. And if you cannot open your mouth to talk, it's not going to last. It's going to fail, because we're all human, we're all people, and things change. Your feelings one day might be completely different the next day. It's about being honest with yourself and your partners, so that everybody can come together and figure out what the next step is. Because at the end of the day, it's yourself, it's you, but you're all in this together.
Ella,
Gotcha.
someone asked, how do you guys date?
Yeah, good question.
Okay, so we do a little bit of dating together and dating separately, which just,
So like
go out. He can go out
sometimes
on
it
a
may
date
just
and
be,
whatever.
yeah, I'm about
So
to say sometimes it might be you and him or her and you type of, okay, or them, them two, vice versa. Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
That's so interesting. Cause I mean, again, we don't know because we're not really a part of it or into it, but we try to open up different topics because this was basically something that they voted on that they were interested in, and I know someone else who was supposed to come on too, but she didn't come on, that basically is in a poly too. So it's just like everybody has all their different opinions and stuff like that, but to hear it from someone who experienced it, it definitely gives you a whole different outlook on what it really is. And this is not something that you can just jump into. You definitely have to be open-minded, but again, that starts just with the base relationship, and a lot
Yeah.
of people don't have that together. So
Yes.
it's like
No,
if you
that's
thinking
so
about
right.
if you thinking about bringing in a whole nother party, it's like you can't even just get the two together. No
Right.
matter if it's male, female, whatever it is. Like
Mhm.
just getting the base together. So you got to have your base together before you even bring
Foundation.
in. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I got you, honey.
Yeah.
uh, so, I wanted me to let you guys know really quick for y'all to just follow our journey. Follow us on Instagram, Polyfly. We are
Oh yes.
here under our little poly journey. So
Okay.
follow us.
So what
Tap
is
in.
it at Polyfly?
Yes.
Spell
At
it out
Poly.
for us. Oh, I think Cherie's putting it in there. I think she's going to
It's
tag, pin it up there. So
POL.
we.
It's POLFLYY.
POLYFLYY.
POLYFLYY.
POLYFLYY. Yeah, that's what I figured it was. Pin it so they can
Yeah,
find
we
it.
definitely going.
Our inbox is always open to questions and comments. Anything you need, we're there.
Got you, man. That's love. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you for sharing. At Polyfly, we definitely gonna keep an eye on this journey. This is something that's outside of our wheelhouse personally. So we really appreciate you coming in and just sharing with us. You know what I mean? With the transparency, the transparency was amazing, because I think coming onto this live, all of us had a you know what I mean, like conceived notion of this whole, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
And
was over here going crazy, like, no, you can't come in. They need me in there. They need to hear a woman's side, a woman who's in life.
right.
Yeah.
So, but you coming, you know what I mean, coming on, it's like, okay, this is a real person, you know what I mean, with real experience, you know what I'm saying? And you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just like any of us, you know what I mean? So it could be any of us. So I think that, just coming on is really great for us, because we get a chance, like I said, to get that experience and that vibe. We definitely going to, follow the journey. We wish you guys much success, you know what I mean, on what you guys are doing. I'm a fan of just that village piece. I love what y'all doing with that in terms of legacy and, building that foundation and for the children and for what y'all got going on. So, kudos and much props and much respect to you guys. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in with us and joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys for allowing me to jump on.
Yes. And we gonna have any of the ladies that want to send their resume your way. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
please. Send them over.
They doing it on the low already. Trust me. They
Inbox is
POLY. There we go. So y'all heard it. You know what I mean? Send them resumes over to at Polyfly. You know what I mean? And see if it's a match. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can
And if
add
anybody that
to the
that
village.
just came on too, this live will be posted on our YouTube channel. If you guys want to go check it out and listen to what Ella was talking about, it'll be on the Davis and Friends YouTube channel. You know, I let everybody know that these lives don't stay on Instagram. They get taken off Instagram and they're posted on our YouTube page, and that's the Davis and Friends.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Well, Ella, we appreciate you. We're gonna send everybody away, and we're gonna keep in contact so we can keep up with this journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Let's sit back.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys. No problem.
Yeah. Hey, Sheree. So that was interesting. Like, you know what I mean?
You gotta leave the live and then come back in.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Yeah, so I think that was good. I think for most of the people, like I said, I can't see the comments, but I think for most people, that really gave us a real person, you know, that has an experience, and it appears to be a real and a mature decision that was made, a conscious decision that was made, and a well thought out decision that was made to join and to be a part of a poly relationship. Like I said earlier, a lot of us had a preconceived notion of what that would look like or whatever the case may be. And, you know, I think that, you know, I mean, some of us definitely going to lead us with a different perspective. You know what I mean? When she talks about adding to finances, you know what I'm saying, adding to, you know, supporting the household with children, you know what I'm saying, with bills, you know what I mean, things of that nature, and just being true to who you are and, you know, whatever you feel like works for you, then I mean, to me, you know, I mean, based on just seeing that and having, you know, hearing from Ella, I definitely have a different perspective on, you know, I'm seeing on the poly, you know, lifestyle, and just, you know, having respect for people that make that decision. So definitely that. How you feel, Sheree?
Yeah, it was good information. I think it do give you a better understanding, and it's not just what everybody portrayed to, like, just saying that it is. It's not that. It's so much more than that. So I get, you know, and can respect what she's saying about it. Chad, you back? You want to tap in, Chad? Tap in, Chad. We only got a few minutes left.
You got a few minutes. You going?
But no, it was
Yeah, I want to hear
definitely
your
very
perspective,
good
Chad.
information.
Let's hear.
It
Let's
was
hear,
definitely
Chad.
good information.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
And people don't be really honest. You know, you gotta
Yeah.
be, like she said, the communication thing is definitely a big, big thing. And if you don't have that, it's not going to work for you, because you have to be open and honest about everything, because you're still dealing with people with feelings, emotions, and all the above. So you have to be honest. Nima, it's cool. I'm gonna put it on YouTube. You gotta be honest. That's the main thing I got Ella saying, is you have to
Yeah.
be honest and you
The
have to
communication.
communicate. Those were the biggest things that stands out the most. Forget everything else. Everything else comes afterwards. It comes along, you know, as time progresses with the relationship. But you guys gotta have communicate and open. Like, you gotta be willing to say whatever.
You were scared of that word. I heard you. I heard you scared of that communicative. So that's why you. You see how she just went to the
that
next
word.
word? She changed the past tense to present tense.
Communication. I'm not scared.
No,
Most people cannot be honest. No, they cannot.
I
And
think
they can't handle honesty.
What?
They can't handle somebody being honest to them. They can't handle that.
Talking about.
I learned a lot from what she was talking about, and it kind of made me tap back
Yes.
into some of the things that I be thinking. I mean, I ain't that exquisite as she is, or articulate as
That
she
was
is.
amazing.
But, to be honest, like, and this is part of my new book, you know, basically people don't know how to date. Shameless plug. But it's really one of those things where, during that beginning stage of dating, you kind of are portraying to people what you think they like, so it can go to that next level. Trying to hold doors open and open doors with cars. Nigga, you don't do that, right? Like, you trying to do everything that you think that they want, right? But all that is lying. That's just different forms of lying, right? When you can be a little bit more honest of telling people who you really are, that way you can find. Listen, if you dirty and you got roaches and mice, there is somebody out here who shares the same sentiments as you.
Wow.
Just give somebody a choice, because, yo, if the lady on the back porch is 800 pounds and her boyfriend is 110 pounds and he washing her up with a water hose, it's somebody out here for you.
Yeah, that's
so,
a fact.
With that being said, like, if you know you're a compulsive cheater, or you okay, let's say this. Let's say this. I'm thinking of this as I'm saying. Can we say that people aren't educated enough dealing with who they really are?
That's a good point.
If you knew that you was a compulsive cheater, if you knew what poly was, she said she thought she was bisexual her whole life until she recognized what poly was. If you knew what poly was, you would feel a little bit more comfortable saying, guess what? I'm going to go out. Yo, it's a Facebook group for old sneakers, shoelaces, yarn.
Yep.
It's a Facebook group out here for polys and new polys. Go out there and be with a poly, because what happens is, this is the thing, and I've said this before to you guys, statistics show you will get your car windows busted out if you don't give a woman a choice. If you tell her she the only one and she find out it's somebody named Yvette in your life, she going to bust your windows out because she want to hurt you to compare or to combat the hurt that she has. But when you're honest with somebody, look, I like to have 2 or 3 women at the same time. It's somebody out here that don't mind.
Yeah.
All right, you can wash up in my room. Okay. All right. It's somebody already doing those. So I think, like, stop lying and be honest and be okay that everybody ain't for you, and there is somebody out here for you. So if you want to be a cheater, she just made us. You ain't a cheater. Just be open and be a poly.
Yeah.
Polyamorous, polygamy, all of those polys.
But you know what? It would really take, that's crazy, because you know what I mean, it would really take that shame and that bad name off of, you know what I mean, certain people's name, because you could just do what you comfortable with doing and it's not looked at as cheating. But that's when it's wrong, when you not being honest about it. You know what I mean? If you're being honest, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? In terms of, you know what I mean, you want to have multiple partners, you want to be this, you want to be that. You just got to be honest about it. And I think that opens up a door for you to be who you want to be, you know what I mean, and not get, you know, scrutinized for it. You know what I mean? If more people in the community was polygamous, then it wouldn't be a lot of people being looked at as bad. You got to think about that.
Talking about?
In the black community.
Oh, all right, cool. I don't even know.
In the black community, if it was more people that was polygamous, then you wouldn't be looking at men as just dogs like that. If men were more upfront, or even some women, you wouldn't be looking at her as a whore, because she's like, listen, I'm a part of, you know what I mean, a group. This is what I'm claiming. This is for me. You know what I mean? And being upfront about it. I think is where the hide and everything come in and start to give you a bad label.
I hope that I can bring this back full circle, because sometimes I go into these tangents. But do women understand what men have to go through trying to, like, shoot their shot at women? Come in, son. Like, just imagine you in the club, you on the other side, and you drinking or whatever, and you see this girl on the other side of the club that you like her, like, you trying, but you really playing double dutch, challenge one, trying to hype yourself up to go across. I don't care what type of man you is. I don't care how confident you is. You trying to figure out when you gonna bust your move and when you gonna do it. Then you finally go do it. Then you get over there, and then you so boiled up trying to get to that level. You get over there and be like, "What you think about the president?" You be like, "Oh," and you start walking away, right? But if more men knew and more people knew that rejection wasn't a bad thing, and rejection was given with grace, more men would shoot their shot at more women. So I say that to bring this full circle before I lose my mind, that more people would be honest if the person on the opposite side can understand that, okay, that's not for me, and I'm not interested, versus nigga this, nigga that, da, 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 da. More people can say, hey, I'm into more than one woman, or I'm into men and women, or whatever, poly.
Yeah.
If they knew that the person on the other end of that table at Eddie V's or Steak 48 couldn't handle it with grace and be like, well, you know, I'm not interested in that, but, you know, we can finish this dinner and talk. So I think if we could communicate better, I think it'd be easier for people. Well, I don't know, niggas be lying, and I'm not saying that. Sometimes it just be like these. That's the worst type of lies, the unnecessary, no point, nobody even the the unprovoked lies, right? And some people are so good at it that they don't even recognize that they lying no more because they believe it. And when they tell themselves a lie for so long, they start to believe it.
Yeah, that's the worst kind.
Yep.
Because it is the unnecessary lying. And and honestly we went through the communication and honesty is probably like one of the more consistent conversations that we have when we going on our lives. You know what I'm saying? That's probably one of the most consistent. You know what I mean? And but people
They said niggas be lying.
but people can't be as judgmental too. So that's where the lies come from. The lies can come from somebody being afraid of what your acceptance of the truth will be. And that can happen too. So if somebody feels like you know what I mean, you can't handle the truth, or you going, you know what I'm saying, or you're going to take it the wrong way, then that's where a lie can come from too. It don't justify it, don't make it right. But you know what I mean? If we're more accepting or more open, you know what I'm saying, and not as judgmental, then maybe it'll be a little bit more truth too. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I have nothing to combat what you said. That's 100% real. Somebody on here said, I'd handle rejection because my mom told me no all my life, right?
Oh, wow.
But I get that, but it's not the no. We all can handle no if you say, no, I'm not interested. We all can handle it if you handle me with grace. When you look me up and down and say, fuck out of here, nigga, why would I ever talk to a nigga? Then that's
ass talking about the president.
Exactly. You kill me, corny ass. Well, I only deal with these. That's what make it terrible. You know what I mean? That's what makes you be like, I mean, how you doing, sweetheart? No, nigga, fuck out of here. Well, fuck out of here. Fuck you too, bitch. I'm dusty ass you. That's where it go to grind time. And it don't even be something. I'm not even like that. But it gets me like that because you played me, so I gotta play you. You played me, I blame you. Plays you. Nothing more, nothing less. But you at my door with a confessor. This is the best you had test.
You have a test.
Now you're
put the DMX in there. The ministry.
Dog. You know what I'm saying? Lord, give me a sign. But,
listen.
I mean, if more people, I challenge everybody to really ask yourself, the person that you with, why are you with them? Or is that a business decision, or are they roommates? Or y'all just sharing the bed? Like, I challenge everybody to do a lot of thinking. When you take your next shower, whether it's today, tomorrow, or the next day after that, because people don't be washing up. They was like, niggas get in the house and be like, where I go today? I ain't really go that many places. I'm good. Y'all laughing too hard. What's going on? So y'all need to talk. No, I challenge people to just really sit back and stop going with Western civilization or what you were taught. Because sometimes some of us, you got to grow up and unlearn everything that you was taught, because some of us were taught by our parents. Not to say that they wasn't bad. Some of them did the best that they can. And sometimes that's not even good enough. But they base their teachings on their ignorance or their limitations or their fears. So you grow up living the life like, and you don't question nothing. Then you get 26 and be like, but why am I doing this? Or why am I doing that? So I challenge everybody to just really sit back. Even if you're married or you're in a relationship, ask yourself, like, is this really what I want? Am I just going with the flow? I'm tired of hearing I'm doing this for the kids. Because guess what? I know a whole lot of people who have co-parenting lives where the kids don't miss out on nothing. So I challenge people to ask themselves, what do they really want? You might want to hang out with your wang out. There is a group for you. If you like selling sneakers, if you like selling hair, there's a group for them. So
you got you.
You can do whatever. Like, this world is like, I mean, of course they say land of the free, like, but you really can do everything. It's freaks and creeps and weirdos and smart people and bird brains and dummies and dirty people. Yo, there's people out here that are anti-vaxxers. Like, they got a group where they chill. Like, you can't chill in this group if you got a vaccine. Like,
oh wow.
So it's crockers, like people that you go everywhere wearing Crocs on their feet. So there is literally a position for you in this world to be accepted. And everybody in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s didn't have that luxury. If you grew up in Jamaica, I got friends who are Jamaican. If you grew up in Jamaica, they call you Bati boy. It was no way you was growing up being gay. They was beating you with machetes, bats, bricks, whatever. You was just getting beat up all of the time if you ever felt as though that you wanted to be gay, right? But now it's green light for everything. Like, if you play Zelda, like, I went past community college, I see kids out here and they 26 playing Pokemon, having real award shows for Pokemon. It's really up for whatever you want to do.
No, that's a fact.
It's a place down on Delaware Ave where you got to bring a couple. Or I don't know if y'all know about this, but you got to come in as a couple, and people, you got to come as a couple, and people are like literally having sex in this room, and you get to touch them, but you got to be, and you got to allow the person you come with to get hit. You heard about that place?
No, never heard of it. Why don't you drop the Addy for anybody that's interested, though?
I mean, it's a secret society. All we ask is trust, you know. But yeah, it's that type.
What are you into, my brother?
Chadwick.
The question is, what am I not into? You know what I'm saying? But no, like it's literally like we get to this age where you're 34 and fall in love with bowling. Like, and bowling been here your whole life. Like, you seek and you shall find. Go find that. Yeah. That way it can actually allow you to, people that look weird, you respect them after a while, man. I don't know what they into, but they doing them. God bless them that they live in.
That's a fact. Everybody that was quote unquote, weird or strange, you know what I mean? Those are people now we realizing just stayed true to who they were. You know what I mean? And they weren't, you know what I mean, inundated. They weren't like affected or phased by how everybody else felt like they should be. Some of those people are big in big tech companies. You know what I mean? They was quote unquote nerds, this, that, and the third, but they stayed true to who they were and they're successful now. So I think like just to kind of bring everything to a head, I think is important for anybody. And this is a challenge also. The challenge is to, is to get to know yourself before you look to be in any type of relationship, whether it's, a marriage, a monogamous relationship, or whatever the case may be, or a poly type relationship. Before you can indulge with a relationship with anybody else, you first have to get your relationship strong with yourself. Like that's the big thing. And I think a lot of us, you know what I mean? We have a lot of traumas that we come up with. You know what I mean? We have a lot of things that we've been dealing with for years that have been unresolved. And we coming into relationships, whether it's with one person or multi people, and we don't even know who we are. So the person that's in a relationship with us, the person that they love or got attached to, that person don't even exist. You know what I mean? Because that's just your representative. That's the person that you put out there, like you said, Chad, to please somebody or just to, to get with that person. So now, then later you find out who you really are, and now you're stuck in a situation, or you're treating somebody, or lying to somebody because you didn't find out who you were. So I think to bring everything together, I think ultimately you gotta do, you gotta look inside. You have to do self-reflection. You gotta learn yourself. You gotta do therapy. You gotta, pray. You gotta think. You gotta really dig deep into yourself before you can have a relationship with anybody else. Anybody.
I remember me and my wife went to Condom Kingdom. It was amazing. It's just me and her in there. We was looking at all of the toys, stuff we wouldn't use, stuff we would use. And like we just started to implement. I felt like as we grow into more new things. Not sexually, but I'm just using this as an analogy. 2 people can move a chair easily. I think somebody said that. It's really like relationships. Chris Rock said, shout out to Chris Rock. Chris Rock said, relationships aren't hard. They're only hard when one person is working on it. 2 people can move a couch really easy, right? When it's 2 people or 3 or poly, quadruple, sex, whatever it is, sextuplets, I guess, when you guys are all on the same page, it is nothing that could break you up. Nothing. When it's you and Sheree and y'all hitting it on all cylinders, nobody can come in the midst of what y'all got going on. It's always when one person got one leg out and the other person is still working on it. And that's where the lies and all of those things start to happen. But like, if you could tell a person how you feel and they don't judge you for that, it might not be for them. It might be. But like, you tell your wife something and you be like, look, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel this way. And she be like, I feel the same way. That shit is like eureka. That shit is like, you for real. What makes something funny where y'all both say, did y'all see that nigga teeth fall out? Oh my gosh. And y'all share the same sentiment. Yeah. So I just challenge people, to be a little bit more honest, man. And if your best friend ain't who you with, you ain't with the right person. And that's just in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't hate. Sometimes I find myself people being more honest with a friend on the side, being more honest with the niggas in the street or the girls at the hair salon than they is with the person that they with. You got more heart to say, I don't like the way he had sex with me in the hair salon, but you ain't telling him. So how do you expect it to even be better? I know, look, my analogies be all over the place, but I feel like they all are conducive. Listen here, as you say, listen here, my brother, I got a point. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, no, you on it. You know what I mean? And I think that's really some good points. We gotta communicate. You know what I mean, with our partners and be upfront, like you said. You know what I mean? Be connected with your partner and work to build that partnership relationship as if that's your best friend. If they're not, you know what I mean? And like I said, first thing you want to do before you even try to get into a relationship with anybody else is build that relationship with yourself. You know what I mean? That's rule number one, because you're never going to be able to be true to anybody if you don't know who you are. So, I mean, that's that. We actually got to tap out. You know what I mean?
You got to get back in the shower because you didn't wash your feet.
We wrapping up. We wrapping up what we got going on, man. I appreciate
So
everybody
again,
coming through.
as everybody know, this was the last live until the Ramadan is over. So the next live won't be until May 4th. But if you missed any of the 7 that we already did, which this makes the 7th one today, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Davises and Friends. The link is in my bio. Chad, why you looking like that?
Somebody was coughing. I've been around y'all last couple of days. I'm scared.
Who was coughing? Nobody coughed.
Yeah, somebody in y'all household. If y'all in the same house, somebody coughed.
But if anybody missed this, wanted to see this live or any of the other lives that we did, they are on our YouTube channel. That's The Davises and Friends. The link is in my bio on Instagram. So if you guys want to check it out and see what we were talking about today, you can go on the YouTube and check it out. I appreciate everybody coming on, being supportive, sharing. And we'll see you guys. Yes, Blackie Chad, Ella.
I'll be there tomorrow at 9 to get my chair.
Good brother
Yusuf coming on. And we'll see you guys on May 4th. Oh, we would think about going doing it live and in person. So it may be in person. We don't know yet. We trying to figure that part out. But the next live,
y'all should do it on like 52nd and Sanson, right behind the free library. That'd be a good spot to do it.
Period.
You know what? You're right.
Maximum level.
Hey.
We don't know yet, but I definitely appreciate everybody coming on, and we'll see y'all in a month.
Deuces.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes. Walaikum salam.
Peace.